Okay.
Hello, everybody. How are you? I am Penda James. I'm a scribe coach, and what I do is I assist people to get unstuck, execute their goals, and inscribe their legacy. That's if you never heard of me and you're only here to see Tiffany Countryman because she is famous and all. What you are watching is something that I am calling the Resilience Project. This is an opportunity for me to connect with people that I care about, to have them speak life back into me with declarations for leadership. And I am sharing those declarations with all of you. So get comfortable, get your journal, get a pen, because I know Dr. Tiffany, Minister Tiffany, Pastor Tiffany is going to be dropping some nuggets and some bombs for us today because she always does. I actually thought you were going to be in your car because you usually drop the word in your car, but
I want to be
thank you for being
professional for you today, Linda. I want to be professional for you today.
thank you for being in the studio and being stationary so we can have this conversation. So I've known Tiffany since she was 13, and we met at Revival Center Ministries through Project Impact. She from a very young age had the hand of God on her life and was always a warrior, resilient, strong. I mean, she would open her mouth to speak and the whole floor would get quiet. Like that's just how powerful Tiffany was, even as a young lady. So to see her now and to see her thriving and eventually you are going to buy the Elder Billman building. I stand with you on that. She's got big dreams. And so watching her from a distance, I am learning how to dream in color again. So I'm so grateful to have this conversation with you today. So Tiffany is a mom. She's a wife. She's a business owner, entrepreneur, minister, just has her hands in so many different gifts and pots of the kingdom. And so I am grateful to introduce my friend to my friends so that we can all do great work in the kingdom.
Yes.
So, Tiffany, is there something that I did not say about you that you want people to know?
No, that was more than enough, sis. I get like goosebumps when I hear stuff like that. Because the journey has been interesting from then to here. So it's great to hear that God is still in control, even when I haven't felt like He was. So I have
I'm so
nothing to
grateful.
add. Just to God be the glory for the things that He has done. That's all I want to say.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I just need to take a moment in that and just in everything. Yes. Thank you, God. Um, So, your declaration that we're going to discuss today, I don't know if I said this, but my goal is to get to 100 declarations for leaders because I want to create a toolkit for people in leadership. And
Okay.
so I find that you are someone who speaks to leaders, and you're a leader in church, in ministry, in the community, and but you're not the traditional kind of leader. So you're just like me in that regard. Like people look at us, me with my natural hair, you with your locks, different colors. It is beautiful, by the way. It
You
is
know, thank
absolutely beautiful.
you.
Like that color is really banging. I just needed to.
Thank you. Nah, thank you.
And so because we are different, sometimes when we run up against the system, we get pushed back. And so I wanted to have conversations so that people who are like us can remember their tools for resilience.
Absolutely.
So your declaration that we're going to be talking about today, ministry is me. Can you define that for us? I hear you say it. I just want to hear it from your words what it means.
Oh yeah. Ministry is me. It's exactly what it says. Ministry is me. Like you said, Penda, we can, and when I say we, I'm speaking in the general term of people, Christians, black churchgoers can get so caught up in the tradition or the religiosity of ministry. We want to put a definition on ministry and say you're only a minister if you're in a pulpit and you're holding a mic. You're only a minister if you're teaching Bible study, if you're an ordained deacon, if you're an usher, then you're operating in ministry. But that's not the truth. When we look at Jesus, but from the time he was even conceived, when the angel came to Mary, he was ministry. He came as ministry. And the only thing that God told Mary was his name, and you shall call him Jesus. That was his identity. Jesus is ministry. Christianity is Jesus. And that's the same thing with us. We were created here for a purpose. The Bible is emphatically clear when it says that we were formed. We were thought of, excuse me, I'm missing the scripture, I'm messing the scripture up, that we were thought of before. That before we were formed in our
Universe.
mother's belly, we were called, all of that good stuff. Y'all know the scripture I'm trying to talk about. But we have a purpose. We're here for a reason. And oftentimes we shy away from our, inadequacies, our idiosyncrasies, things that will disqualify us from ministry. But that's exactly the thing that God is going to use to minister to other people through. So ministry is much more than the traditional Sunday service and preaching and teaching. It's actually ministering to the souls and the spirits of God's people in many ways. It doesn't have to be through a preaching format, even though I am called to preach. I've been in ministry for 11 years now. Woo, to God be the glory. So I am called to preach. I'm a preacher, I'm a teacher, but however, my life is ministry. Ministry is me.
So the next question, I'm gonna just add it into this question is I kind of want to understand how you came to adopt that as a declaration for yourself and how ministry is me has been a thread throughout your life.
I adopted this declaration my freshman year of college. I remember it vividly. This was back in the day when, I don't know if you remember, the instant messaging, AOL instant messaging was a thing. Like, from before Facebook, before text messaging, I would be in class and lecturing of instant messaging my friends and my family. So with that, I had to make up a handle. And I didn't know, I didn't want it just to be Tiffany Wood, was my maiden name, Tiffany Wood, anything like that. I wanted it to be something different. And in that season in my life, God was really, birthing the ministry within me. I led a mime team on campus. I was involved in the gospel choir. I was really starting to delve deeper into my relationship with God. And it just came up. Ministry is me. I am who I am, and God is going to use me because of who I am. So I made the handle. So it started from that, and it kind of just continued to roll from that. It became my identity, because that, for a while, that was my handle on everything, on Instagram, on Facebook. So it just became who I am. And then the things that God called me to, serving the community, serving in church, serving my family, it just came along with me. So as the years went on, God continued to bring the increase, turned it into a company. Now we are a faith-based event planning and project management company where we specialize in community empowerment. So it has just been ingrained with me. And, we grew up at Revival Center, and back in the day, I can't speak to now because I haven't been there forever, but back in the day, the word coming across the pulpit was so fire, and it would challenge you, and it would convict you, and you would leave rethinking your life. Like, oh, wait a minute, let me think about, hold on, I thought that I was doing something right. And it wasn't anything judgmental or a condemning word. It was the Spirit of God. So all of that, just during that season, just was like, ministering inside of me, and it just here we are.
Wow. So it's been throughout your life, even before college, I think.
Yeah, definitely before college. Just to give a quick testimony. So how I got involved in church. So I was born in church. My grandmother was always in church. My mother was in church. However, I was not churchy. It was an old school Baptist church. You went to church, you do what you're supposed to do, and you go home. There was, for me, I'm not going to say for others, there was no growing or cultivating. With that, I got caught up, in some stuff at the age of 13 that landed me in jail. I was on probation. And that is how I got connected with Project Impact through the RISE program, Rising Internal Self-Esteem. And that's how I met Penda and a whole plethora of other people who are still such huge figures in my life. And I think that's why God changed me, because I was on the path. I was going down the wrong road, hanging around the wrong people, doing the wrong things. And God literally plucked me up and placed me in Revival Center Ministries. So at the age of 13, I was miming on stage every fourth Sunday. I was very involved in the youth group. As a matter of fact, my youth pastors are my spiritual parents. I still talk to them today. My mentor from Project Impact, Lawana Henderson, she's still my godmom today. Matter of fact, I'm sitting inside her studio right now. So ministry just kind of fell on me. It just became a lifestyle because everyone that when God plucked me out from my home and placed me in Revival Center Ministries, everyone that I was around was doing ministry. I wasn't around the pew sitter. I was around those who were in ministry. So that's all that I saw. So it just kept going and kept going and kept going. So yeah. I feel like I'm rambling. So to stop
You're
me.
not rambling. As
Okay.
you were talking, I was thinking, so it was raising internal self-esteem,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So with you use the word pluck.
Yep.
God
Yeah.
plucked you out of where you were, put you in the Rise program, which
Mm.
birthed who you are so that you could rise.
Basically.
And so no, you weren't rambling. I just really was thinking about that whole process. Just
Yeah.
being, that God really, when you got arrested what was happening so that he could give you who you were.
Come on and preach, Penda. Preach.
Being in that moment, like I just remember, like you came in sometimes, and as soon as you open your mouth, it'd be like the whole, because we'd be on a whole floor, and the whole floor just get quiet. Like the power that was in your mouth, really, even back then, to see what you're doing now, and just beyond speaking and preaching, but in your writing and the books that you have coming forth, the documentary that you have
Keep
coming
calling those
forth.
books, Penda. You keep calling on those books.
They are in you.
Oh,
They are in you. So, well, that's part of my gift. I see books on people. Like
amen.
I mean, I look at people and I'm like, oh, you're supposed to be writing a book. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm supposed to be the one to help you, but I'm supposed to call it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so there's multiple things in you. You've not seen the half of what God wants to do in your life. And then, your little baby girl is just the continuation of that legacy. So
Yeah.
just get ready, be ready. And we were talking a little bit off air about having your king, and my king came in, my little princess came in, and they helped me. We're in the space that we need people around us to help us grow. So I'm just really grateful for that. And I've learned, even through this resilience project, through this process, sometimes things would happen and people would say stuff and I would let it slide. And I had somebody tell me, stop doing that. She's like, I need you to be present in the moment when you're talking to these people. You love them, you care about them, and take the time to really tell them, like, I have seen you be resilient.
Wow.
I have seen it since you were 13. So I need you to speak to a leader, somebody who is buried under all of this stuff that they're carrying because they don't know how to be resilient anymore, and they're just existing in the everyday mundane stuff that they do. And I need you to call out, because you are a leader who speaks with power. And then I need you to call out the resilience in the leaders who are buried under for the forgotten self of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I know exactly what that's like. Because for a season, I hated ministry. I hated, hated ministry. I had a disdain for ministry. And it wasn't, in retrospect, it wasn't ministry. I had a hate for the church. For the church. So it's no secret. My daughter is born out of wedlock. Long story short, I was going to a church. A deacon of the church and myself became involved. I became pregnant, and the way that the church handled me damaged me. I was sat down. I was a minister at this point. I was about 25 years old. I'm 33 now. So I was about 25 years old. And God had blessed me to the point I was ministering all across the country. I was flying here, flying there, ministering at conferences, hosting my own church services in the city, serving in the church. So I had got into that facade of holier than thou, the self-righteousness or whatever, when I was still doing my dirt, the things that I was supposed to do, not just sex outside of marriage. It was other things that I was doing and that I was involved in, that my lifestyle was not matching up to my declaration. So long story short, got pregnant. I was sat down completely, just, you know how they some people treat, single mothers, but the deacon never got sat down, never got reprimanded. In fact, he was given a free pass by the pastor to not be involved in the 9 months of cultivating our child, because there was no guarantee that the child was his. And this is not hearsay. This was said in front of me in the pastor's office. The pastor was at the desk. My child's father was to my left. I'm 6 months pregnant at the time, because I came to the pastor like, I need help. At that point, I had nothing. Like, I think about it now, and you're from Dayton. Miami Valley Hospital is on a hill.
Yeah.
The Berry's Women's Center is where I would go for my checkups. And I was so broke, Penda, that I didn't even have enough money to park in the parking garage. I had to park like where Wendy's was.
Yes.
Up the hill. I'm 6, 7. Well, this was the remainder of my pregnancy, 6, 7 months pregnant by myself, walking up the hill to go to my appointments to make sure that my child was okay. So I came to the pastor because at this point, I didn't really have a family structure. Yes, my mom and dad are still here. I have a relationship with them, but it's not a supportive relationship. My only relationship was the church family, was the church. So I went to the pastor, let him know, like, hey, I need some help. This baby is coming. I don't have any money. I'm not able to work because I also had Crohn's disease. It was just a lot going on at that time. So the pastor called us into a meeting. My child's father was adamant that our child was not his, was extremely adamant. So the pastor said, well, you know what, Tiffany, I've seen this too many times, where a mom will come in, a pregnant woman will come in and say that one of my deacons or ministers or the father, and it's not. So I'm not going to force him to help you or do anything, because we're not for sure that the baby is his. So I said, okay. And that was the last time that I was in that church, 6 months pregnant in that church. Well, no, in that office. I did come back to the church after I had my child and we did a paternity test. But then my child's father's family just completely played me, said that she don't look like him. It was a lot of stuff going on back then. So from that point, I did not step foot in church for 6 months. After my daughter was born, me and her was in my little apartment on our little couch by ourselves for 6 months, because I was just so broken. Because at that point I had given so much to the church, Penda, so much of my time, so much of my resources, my tears, my love, my ideas, my creativity, my ministry, that I had just poured and poured into the church. And when I needed them the most, I was by myself. So I hated the church to the point to where, because at that point, I had a lot of ministry friends that were women, and they were preaching, and they would ask me to come, and I would attempt to go, but I was so triggered and so scarred that I would sit in the church and just start crying. And I didn't have a wraparound mental health and illnesses and triggers, and as I didn't have a wraparound that as I do now. So back then, it was just like, oh, she being extra, she trying to get attention. No, like, I really was triggered. I just couldn't do it. I didn't go to church for a long time. So I hated church. I hated ministry. Don't call me to preach. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to step foot into a church, because I was just so buried by how I was handled. Not so much the sin itself. Yes, having sex outside of marriage is a sin. I will never say that it's not. However, there is a way that you're supposed to restore or love or cover someone. And I'm not a pastor, never been a pastor, and I'm pretty sure I'm not called to pastor. And I don't know how to handle a situation like that, where two of your church members are found in sin and you have to figure out what to do. However, I don't think that was the right way. So I hated ministry. You wouldn't hear me saying ministry is me. And then I would try my hardest to drink myself out of ministry, to club myself out of ministry, sex myself out of ministry. But like the word says, was like fire shut up in my bones. I couldn't walk away. I still can't walk away. So I understand what it's like to just be like, man, I know this is what I'm called to do, but I don't want to do this. I'm not feeling this. It's not worth it. These people can kiss my ass. I'm just keeping it real.
Yes.
Y'all can have this because as far as I'm concerned, me and God good. I don't need none of this. I don't need none of it. But those are times I think that God allows so that we can fully rely on him. Because like I said, I was so caught up in the traveling and the preaching and the friends and, oh, you doing this? Hey, Minister Tim, I was trying to be an elder. I've been a minister for 11 years. I don't care about being an elder, apostle, nothing like that. Hey, mama, come say hi to Penda.
Penda who?
We'll have to have you on the resilience. This is
Penda!
my grandma. She's the one that saved my life, y'all.
Penda, how you doing? I haven't seen you in so long.
I just
This is the one, my mentor from 13
Oh
years
my
old.
God.
You the reason I'm still here, man.
Yeah, you're the reason why I'm here too. Yeah,
oh, thank God. Look at that.
I'm going. I'm just
Getting your glasses.
getting my glasses so I can see.
Yeah.
It's so. Listen, it's a good. I'm glad to see you.
Keep this in the recording. This
I
is
am.
this is ministry is me right here. This is the reason.
Yeah, this is times walking into work and not saying nothing is wrong, and Sister Wanna just looking at you like, come here, baby.
Tell her what that look is.
That's the Dairy Queen look. Look, this is my interview. Tell the story about the Dairy Queen and you gotta go.
You know, I'm glad for you doing the interview because I'm hearing some things for the first time. I just kind of walked in and everything, but so I'm hearing some things about your struggle for the first time. And so, but what was I supposed to be telling them?
About the Dairy Queen.
Oh.
That look.
Oh, I've seen Tiffany develop things like every year there was something was going on with her.
Every year.
Every year. Every year. But that was part of her process. But anyway, we were at the UDF and this lady came out with her two daughters and she had this look on her face like she was so proud of them. And I told her, what did I say to you? I said
that's the look that I have when I look at you. And the mom was just watching her girls, and you could tell the pride. And it was like a movie. Like we was outside of they having their little moment. We was literally standing right there, staring at them. And she was like, "This is how I feel when I look at you." You're so poetic.
Oh, that just
because you can tell some stories how I was whoo.
I mean, you used to be.
When we not recorded, Penda, we'll have a real session.
Said what?
I said she was a firecracker. Like when she first started coming to Project Impact, she was a firecracker. But the love of just everybody around her just really softened her heart. And that's what we talking about. Like ministry is me. If we exist every day knowing that we are showing the love of Christ, we're going to allow him to change people through us. All we got to do is do it in love. That's what you did. Look at y'all all these years later.
She can't get rid of me now.
Can you believe I couldn't get rid of you then? It was, remember, Penda, the program, we lacked resources. Of course, when you're working for the church and nonprofits, you got to wear several hats.
Yeah.
We get mentors and we didn't have enough mentors. No. So we who were in position of leadership had to take on that role. And that's one thing the churches have to understand. There's no big I's or little U's or anything like that. You have to step into those roles in order to bring somebody out. So she was assigned to me. I was assigned to her.
Well, no, this is God ordained because I was assigned to Bev at first.
Oh, were you?
And then Bev got pregnant with Kendall.
Oh, wow.
She couldn't do it anymore. And then it was like dropped in your lap because it was last minute. Like I sat down and met with Bev and everything.
I was the mentor coordinator.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And so
Bev got
pregnant and she couldn't make that commitment anymore. So she was like, well, I guess I gotta do it. So it was God ordained.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't know all that either. So I don't think
you forgot.
Okay.
That was what, 20 years ago?
Yeah, it's unbelievable that. And sometimes I think, Penda, when I think about her, I'm out and think about the studio and what's going on, and I'm saying, God, who would have really known that 20 some odd years later
we'll be doing this,
that we will be doing this. Mm-hmm. And you never know the gift that God has placed in the person and how it comes right back around to you. And so that's been a blessing. I didn't mean to come in here to do this.
This
I didn't
is
even know she was
ministry.
talking to you, tell you the truth. I just came in to get my reading glass.
I didn't even know you was here, Mama.
You didn't? Oh, I didn't want to.
We've been on since about 11.
Yeah.
So, are you living here in Dayton now?
Well, Mama,
No, I'm in Georgia.
Y'all catch up later. But yeah, that was perfect timing, God's timing.
It was. I mean, it was because it just shows the connection that we had, you know, like I haven't seen Sister Lawana and like I just really feel like crying right now. Like I love her, and just being able to know that you can go to work every day and you can be around people who love you genuinely, and the work that you're doing is really changing lives. So when you spoke to the leader, like, and you told him or her, like, keep going. Sometimes we do feel like, especially when you have limited resources, you stressed out, you tired, you can't even hardly take care of your own family, and you out there taking care of everybody else's family, you know, but you just spoke to them. Just keep going.
Keep going. Keep going. Oh, but the biggest thing that I wanted to say is that it's important to take a break. And I feel like that time that God had, even though it was mixed up in a whole bunch of sin, that God ordained that time for me to really say, what really matters here? Because my life was framed around hollering and hooping and getting people to shout. I used to be one of those preachers. Come on and touch, and I could do all of that. But how is that edifying? Where's the fruit in that? And I'm not knocking anybody that does, because I love preaching. Listen, I am a preacher. I love all styles of preaching. If that's the congregation, that the flock that you, if that's the translation that you need, amen. But I'm just saying, my intent, Tiffany's intent, was not pure. I was doing it because I thought that's how you get the people riled up. But that time really sat me down, just like this quarantine just sits you down and allows you to reevaluate, like, what really matters? Who really matters? Who's going to be here when you are on your ASS? Literally, you not on your ASS. Who is here? And then those are the times when you're able to recalibrate, rest, recalculate, and say, okay, God, let's go.
Is there something that you want to say that I didn't ask you, to tell people to be resilient, and that ministry is me?
I just want to say that as long as there's breath in your body, you have time for another chance. Don't ever think that you missed out on an opportunity, that something has passed you by, or that you didn't take advantage of something when it was before you, because what God has for you is for you. You don't have to live a defeated lifestyle. Yes, we have defeats. Yes, we take losses, we take L's, but as long as there's breath in your body, it's not over. Just take a moment, breathe, and start again. And what you'll learn is all those losses and those lessons, they'll get you quicker to where you're supposed to go, because it teaches you, it shows you, like, okay, I'm not going to do this time, but I will do this. So take it all in and just keep going.
So I'm sitting in the moment because I do feel really emotional right now.
Yeah.
In a good way. Just really, really grateful. Like, you know, grateful to God that He reminded all of us today that He's had His hand on us. Ministry has been us. Ministry is me. And it has been me since the beginning of time, before we were formed in our mother's womb.
Yeah.
And I want to come back to you saying that you're not a pastor. You may not be a pastor, but you are a shepherd. And you have people who are assigned to you, that you are shepherding. And so you have the heart of the shepherd. I don't know if you've taken your spiritual gifts test in a while, but I want you to just take it again and see what your spiritual gifts are, because you cannot have a ministry that is called Ministry is Me and not have the heart of a shepherd. I'm just saying.
Amen. I received that.
I'm just saying. So I thank you so much. I love you so much. This was like the most amazing.
I'm ready for more.
Oh, this was so amazing. Well, I mean, you have something else you want to add?
I mean, you know, Pid, I could talk with you for days. Because
I'm
and
like
and
crying.
oh man, it's so much because God is so good because people like you, Tawana, Marva, Sister Ladonna, Sister Bobby, my
Yes.
like I love sharing. I love talking and connecting with y'all because y'all were the ones that I looked up to when I had no one else to look up to. So I love this type of dialogue, especially because I know you were playing around saying I was famous and stuff, but just to keep it real, when you get to a certain point, you don't really know these people that are trying to connect with you, that want to get close to you. And I've tried to be open and have been burnt and hurt in that area. So I love talking to people that I know that if I don't have $1 tomorrow, I can still call Penda. So
Yep.
I love this type of dialogue because it allows me to be vulnerable and open without having to have up a guard or trust issues because I know that this is my sis. So it is what it is.
Absolutely.
But I'm not gonna hold you if you're ready to end it. Maybe we could do a part two if you do another resilience.
Yeah, we can do a part two. I absolutely do want for you, I need for you to tell people how they can get connected to you, how they can buy your merchandise. You have masks and t-shirts, and I need that sweatshirt.
Yeah.
You have, so many other things that you're doing. And so I want people to be able to connect with you and so that we can all do great work in the kingdom. And so just let them know where to find you, how to buy your
Yeah.
products.
Well, everybody, I'm Tiff Countryman, TiffanyCountryan. You can find out more about me individually at tiffanycountryman.com. I am a project manager, a podcaster, playwright, and a public speaker. So connect with me. I would love to connect with you all. I'm also a writing coach, all those good things. I'm also the CEO of Ministry is Me Ministries, which is a faith-based event planning and project management company. And we also house the All Black Lives Matter product line. Now, this product line represents all Black lives in the matter of their title. Because if you can't connect with me because of my skin color, maybe you could connect with me as a mother, as a child, as a godmother, as a single father, as an uncle. We have over 40 products online. So where it will say Black Lives Matter is a different term in where it will say lives, it will say mother, son, all those good things. We have our winter line that just came out in December of 2020. And you can find out everything about Ministry is Me Ministries at ministryisme.com. You can find out about our project management services. We have a blog there, our podcasts, our products are all on ministryisme.com.
Yay! Thank you so much for sharing this declaration. Ministry is Me. One of the things that what I was thinking about these past couple of days is when I first started the Resilience Project, the intention is not really to be like a podcast or anything. It's just me having real sacred conversations with people that I care about, because especially in the context of ministry, we don't talk about a lot of the things that are really killing us.
Yeah.
And so I just really am grateful for this declaration. You gave it to me. I started giving them to people like, this is what I want you to talk about, and this is what we're going to talk about. And now God is giving things back to me. So you spoke life back to me. Ministry is Me, and gave me the gift of Sister Lawana today. So for that, I am so grateful, and I love y'all so much. Thank you for watching. Go follow Tiffany. Go buy some of her products. And if you're interested in more about the Resilience Project, you can find me at inscribedinspiration.com. Have an awesome day. Love you.
Bye.